Hi everyone, welcome to Wednesday, my favorite episode of the week where we crack in and look at some charts. I've got some big names in today. So XRP is my cherry ripe. That will make a lot of people very, very happy. We'll see if it plays out as it looks like it might. I've also got Cardano in here, not for very good reasons. It's looking very ugly in a descending triangle and an underside retest of resistance. I will show you that in a sec. Also looking at BNB as my one to watch, as well as Matic, and also throwing Dogecoin in there as well. Because some news hit overnight about Elon Musk. So we'll crack into that, but let's first of all get into cherry ripe, because I know a lot of you love XRP, so let's have a look. I'll just highlight that we had XRP a little while ago as a one to watch, I think, because the price signals are still up here in terms of where we looked at might be a really good buying opportunity. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'll just describe it. We had these buy signals down near the volume bar level, so really strong volume support on the right-hand side at around about 31 cents and 32 cents. That is as well in line with the Fibonacci retracement at the time as well, around some moving averages. So that all panned out really well, because since then, XRP, let's say from the low, is up about 80% over the space of, let's say, 7th of September to the 24th of September to this recent high. We also had one of our buy signals up there at about 54 cents. And let me just see if price knocked into that. It did. So that's really, in fact, let's just make sure it did hit 455, 4557. So on Bitfinex, it did hit. It may not have hit on other exchanges, but just shows you that if you have some basic TA on your chart, that you can just do this yourself. And sometimes these can pay off, sometimes they won't, of course. You're not going to get it 100% right all the time. So with XRP now, I'll probably just move those aside and use them again. So let me just describe what I'm doing right now. So XRP, you see up here, it's in a pennant or a flag. I'm going to go with what I feel it looks like right now, and that's a flag. Again, it can be a pennant, whatever you like. For me, this looks quite nice for continuation or a breakout. So you can see XRP is bouncing inside this triangle that seems to be squeezing down to the apex down here. The declining volume as well is telling me just down below at the bottom of the chart, the volume just declining as we're in this. It tells me we're very close to a decision. So XRP is actually looking quite nice. And depending on how you draw this line, you could say it's coming back to retest this line on the top, or it's just sitting on top of it quite nicely, looking for a direction. But what really gives me a little bit more confidence in this is the XRP is above the 21 moving average on the daily, as well as the, that's the 200. So it's above the 200, the blue line, and it is well above the 21 moving average, this red line here. So this to me is pointing like it wants to see continuation. So generally when we see these, I guess, bullish, generally it's bullish, statistically it's more likely to break bullish. But when we see this, you really want to see this prior trend that looks nice. If you saw this in a bear trend going downwards, I'd probably say it's going to break to continue the trend. But right now, it looks like it really wants to continue this positive bull trend to the upside. So for me, that looks really positive. If you're looking for an entry, I'd probably say I'll drag this price bar. It's probably back down towards the 21 moving average, down at around about 0.43. Or if you can get really lucky and this pennant breaks to the downside, you're probably looking at these volume bars and profiles around 40 cents, a little bit lower there. Now, for a breakout from here, you generally want to double the pattern, just roughly. For me, though, I think a really solid target would be this key horizontal at the top here, which is that prior level of the breakdown. Maybe move that down just a smidge as well to really encapsulate that whole area and that point there. So back on there, so about 69 US cents. So as well, we're seeing the RSI trail off as well. So strength is just weakening into the apex of this triangle. On any breakout, you want to see this momentum really carry through and potentially some good volume as well coming through. But for me there, XRP looking really, really nice. And if we remove these two subjective lines here that I've got this triangle, just looking at the candle bar pattern just here on this, I guess, bull flag, you can just see so you've got the low here, higher low, higher low. So the trend is very, very clearly moving higher, but what XRP needs to do now is break out of this this trend line here and then create a higher high above this previous candle. So that's what I want to see XRP doing. It is above volume as well on the right-hand side. So a lot of things lining up for me. The XRP looks really, really good here for that breakout to the upside. Don't know how long it's going to last, but certainly looks like it's set up for a really nice move there. All right, let's pivot over to BNB, because BNB's had quite a nice little period here, and it's fallen back into a Fibonacci retracement zone, and now it's bouncing off that. So if you just draw it from the low to the high, up to about $337, $38 up on this, what's the blue line of the 200 moving average, it tested right into that, then got beaten down and just fell away, in line with some other macro news as well. You see here the contraction of this price is just falling in this downtrend on this line, bouncing all the way back down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level here. In fact, did it over here back in early September, and it did it recently, so it's confirmed twice now. Pretty strong support here, and now it's bounced back above. It's gotten above the 21 moving average there as well, and now it's heading towards the 200 daily moving average there. And what I really want to see here from BNB to confirm this move, I mean, I really like it here, to be honest, anyway. It's sitting on top of the volume profile on the right-hand side. It seems to me like it's just coming back to retest, maybe moving with the fib, and then it should bounce higher. But I really want to see a higher high. See this high over here? I want this here to just to move higher and close above it. And then that, for me, that looks really nice. RSI is pointing that way. However, if BNB closes here and starts to trail away, well, I mean, this could be a bearish divergence at the top here, where you've got a lower peak here and a higher peak on the right, but the right peak is actually lower than the last. So that would mean that BNB is losing steam and is starting to career downwards. So that's what I just worry about a little bit there. But if we zoom in, when I talk about where you might look at buying, use the Fibonacci retracement here and just see where it might fall back to. So you just draw there from the low to the high. Likely come back maybe 288, or maybe down in the confluence with that volume profile down to this area here, if this is a true rejection. If not, BNB could really be running up here to 308. So regardless, I really like it. I think BNB looks good here. Also sort of signals that fundamentally BNB or Binance is getting a bit of love at the moment. So that means volumes, liquidity, which is certainly happening. All right, let's move on over to, actually, before I leave this, just quickly, the target for this one, yes, you've got the 200 sitting there, but overall, if this is a bounce, so if you see here the broader trend, so you've got the low here, high, low up here, this is that recent high, but this bounce should take us up to these levels here. So 357 at this next big volume profile bar, and also over here, this previous area, which should be super strong resistance to the upside. So about 350 is where you'd want to see this move to. Also a bit of a volume gap over here, so not much in here. It's an oxygen pocket, so it should run straight up to 356 if this gets punctured, the 200. So just keep that in mind. All right, ADA, I want to get into this. So just got some nice colors here showing you where the exponential moving averages are. I'll get rid of the guppy. But overall, you can see exactly what Cardano is doing really nicely here, and it's for the bears. So this is a bearish pattern. You can see here just continuously momentum is getting weaker, running into this line that's just descending, continues to move lower. XRP cannot muster any strength to break above it up here. I mean, we were seeing this pattern again and again and again for Bitcoin ever since, 40,000, 50,000. It was just doing this and then dropping to the lower range until there is enough support for buyers to really come in and rally here. Now, it is a bit weird as well, because Cardano had a network hard fork or upgrade recently, so there's just been minimal strength coming through. Not even a FOMO rally. You could think maybe that was there or there, but really nothing to write home about. RSI telling us the same thing as well. No real strength here either. Again, it is testing this lower floor again and again and again. And what has it done? It's broken beneath it. Now, it could rally above it again and this be a little bit of a fake out, sure. But I'm going by what I'm seeing right now. This is a bearish pattern, and this should drop down if this is retesting. See it's underneath there. I'll just show you, zoom in there a little bit. If you're listening on this podcast, it's a bit hard to show, but essentially what Cardano has done, it's broken through the floor, the support floor that it's held for quite a while, and now it's rallying back above it. And that previous support, this line here, is now acting as resistance. So that's what we call support flipped resistance. Has to break back above it for this triangle to be back in play, and then potentially we can look to the upside. But right now, if it cannot break back in, there is a one-way ticket to the next level. So where to from here? Well, 32 cents is probably on the card, so maybe a haircut of 10 cents. That's probably more extreme. I think it probably comes down to maybe 40 cents, if not a little bit lower, exhausts itself in this region here. But generally, when there's no volume on the right-hand side, it could be, let me just zoom out a bit. There's not too much in the way stopping it. So this peak over here could stop it back in May 2018, going back that far. So this should see a fair amount of buyers get quite interested in this region here. But don't be surprised if there's a bit of a free fall, a bit of a capitulation, and then we might see a bit of a rally after that. But XRP's got a bit to do here to get itself out of this situation. Did I say XRP? Cardano has a bit of room here, needs to really fix itself because this is just a classic bearish pattern where it should drop down into this region and work itself out from here. Okay, where are we? Matic. So yeah, another one to watch. I just wanted to show you this because Matic is doing very similar to BNB in terms of where we put our buy positions and where it's now motoring to in terms of taking profits. So you have this phase here where it moved up. Then there was a pretty obvious bearish divergence, fell away since then. Got the Fibonacci retracement tool drawn up, and now it's hitting these key levels. So 0.382 did hit those levels twice. Then it actually dropped down a bit further to the 0.5. So if you have levels stocked, if you're a DCA, if you're looking to short-term trade it, those are the kind of levels that you can look to accumulate for a higher move if you're confident in Matic having that next leg up after consolidation, because it was in a positive trend over here. Generally, how these markets turn is it's bearish for a long time, then it's disbelief, has a bit of a positive rally, has a pullback, and then it starts on its merry way again, another pullback, and that's when you get into more of a bullish trend rather than the bearish trend. All right, so these levels here are, so 77 cents and 64 was down here at this volume support because there's a bit of a gap here. This one didn't get hit, but 0.775, I mean, this here on top of the 21 moving average looks like a good spot. This should run now up to that 200 moving average. That's the blue line there. So that's about 89 cents. This here is probably no longer relevant, and up here. So I'd say this here, so $1 for Matic is probably the next main target. It's got to get above the 200 and this high, but once it does, it's going to go for that $1 to 1.5 cents. And then you can look at 1.31 up there. But so far, so good, but it has to overcome this volume on the right-hand side as well. Overall, Matic looks pretty good here. I mean, it's trying to do the right thing, has probably pulled back, further than most people would have thought, but there was a bit of a volume pocket here on the right-hand side, and the RSI is showing that we have a break in the momentum. So bulls are really gaining strength here, and they want to punch through this. So definitely one to watch. Bulls gaining strength. Keep an eye on those Fibonacci retracements if you think we're in a new positive trend, which looks like Matic is trying to do. Okay, if we move on over to Dogecoin, I just wanted to highlight it because there's well, not rumors, there's news coming out, reports coming out that Elon Musk has done a 180 and he is going to buy Twitter after all. That's highly likely, at least. And because of his proclivity towards Dogecoin, Web3, integrating crypto, Dogecoin had a pump, and this was what was happening during the height of the bull market. Elon Musk tweeted about Dogecoin or Shiba Inu or Floki or whatever. These coins would just have a ripping pump. So traders, what they do is have notifications or alerts set on Twitter, and if Elon Musk tweeted and mentioned Dogecoin or anything like that, they'd immediately open a long position on futures markets or just a spot position, and then ride the wave up. And sometimes it was quite ridiculous. 100% moves. This here was a 12% move. That is nothing to sneeze at if you're coming from a traditional space. That's a strong move. I would just caution though, because we are still in a bear frame of mind. Dogecoin is a retail sentiment driven coin. There is not a lot of demand for it right now. So what has actually happened as well is Dogecoin has been trying to grind out a bottom here on this huge volume support, and it's smashed all the way back up. Well, what's it running into now? Pretty heavy resistance above. So all this trading volume above, there's a lot of people trapped up here. They want to sell as soon as it hits this level here. And you see here this wick sell. So really big sell coming through. What I don't mind about this is it's back on top of the 21 moving average. It's trying to create this higher low structure. RSI looks really good, but it has to overcome, what's that, 0.068 cents at this key resistance level, horizontal support. Get on top of that, then you run up towards this previous high and also confluent with the 200 daily moving average. But just be careful there because these pumps can quickly retrace themselves, and we saw that a lot in the bull market. So we're just drawing a real simple short-term Fibonacci retracement. If you're looking to get onto this Doge move, you see this volume on the right-hand side about 0.063 cents. You can look at that. That pretty much runs perfectly in line with a 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, 0.382s on the cards there, as well as 618. So 61% retracement. Some of these levels could look pretty juicy if you're banking on that Dogecoin's going to move high. You can have your stop losses set if you want a short-term trade and manage your risk. But that to me looks okay. Also volume coming in there a little bit for bulls. So yeah, some things ticking a few boxes there, but I wouldn't be confident in this until it's above this horizontal, retesting a support, then it can move higher. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Covered a few coins there. Hopefully, I haven't gone on too long. As always, if you have any questions or feedback for me, let me know and we can go from there. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you again Friday for our Friday roundup. See you later, guys. Bye.